Right. Hello, everyone. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us from. This is Mr. O. Welcome to today's broadcast. Yes, if this is your first time, like, subscribe, and share the video to as many people as you can so that whatever we are going to discuss will be a benefit to every teacher, aspiring teacher, and those who are already in the profession or those who are already in the United States teaching. Today we have one of our brothers who wants to share his experience. I mean, he's been in the United States not for long, but he wants to share his experience as a teacher, how he got here, why he even got here, and how the first semester experience has been for him in the United States. If you remember this week and for the past weeks, I've been talking about a lot of things that we need to know, we need to do before we come here, and how a lot of teachers are beginning to get tired and go back to their home countries, and how a lot of teachers are also getting into trouble because of certain things that they don't know how to do or what to do or how to handle it. So I believe if we get some of these insights into how things are done here, it will better prepare us who are thinking of entering the United States to teach. So if you have such a dream, if you have such a plan, you have to stay and watch this broadcast to the full end. If you know somebody who is also preparing to come, please share this video to them to also be part of this. All right. And for viewers' discretion, our brother is not going to show his face, but we'll see him in the video. But he's not going to show his face to us. He's going to share whatever experience he has had. I mean, this is a gentleman who has been like a headmaster in Ghana. So this is the second headmaster I am bringing to you. Very soon we'll be bringing you the district coordinators and your district reps who are all leaving. Yeah, at least they want to do something better for themselves. So we'll go straight into it, and I'll introduce my brother. Hello, boss. Welcome to Mr. O.
Thank you, Mr. O. Good
Yeah,
morning and good
good
morning to
morning to
all the
you.
followers.
Good morning to you. So, just as we want to start quick, can you introduce yourself to us a little bit?
Okay, so my name is Daniel, and um, I'm a Ghanaian, just like Mr. O, who has always been preaching the gospel of trying to come up here and teach. Back home, I was a teacher. Um, I've been teaching for quite a number of years, um, and then eventually rising in my school to an administrative role before eventually I had to exit because I had been following Mr. O for some time, and watching his videos gave me a shift in my mind. So I decided to give it a shot, and boom, it worked. So that is my story in brief. Yeah.
So you rose from becoming a normal teacher all the way to an administrative position. I said you were a headmaster. Is it correct? Or you were the assistant, or you were the
No,
district head, or
I was ahead.
you were the head? Wow.
Yeah,
And what subject were you teaching before you became the head?
I was teaching English.
Oh, wow.
So my journey, I started. I was teaching as a class teacher in third grade. Then I moved to fourth grade. Then eventually I had to combine arts and then English uh, because of my background in secondary school. And I thought that for a while. And then when the position came, I was moved to serve as an assist. After some time, I became the head. Yeah,
Wow. So it means you've been teaching for a long time now, right?
yeah, I think it's been about 8 years counting. Yeah,
8 years. Wow. And then it means you rose very quick because for 8 years to rise all the way to assistant and headmaster, it means you were pretty good at the job.
Ah,
I can say
that is why Grace said, I think I found myself in a growth-oriented private sector as well. So it also helped
Oh,
my journey.
that is good. That we were in the private sector, not the government.
No, no,
Yes,
no, no, no.
because I was thinking that the government, it takes you like forever to even get into the assistant directorship position and all that. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
good. That's good. And how long have you been in the United States?
I think I landed in September and here we are in January. So barely about 4 months or so. Yeah.
Less than 6 months. Wow.
September,
So we
October, November, December,
December,
January.
January,
5 months. Yeah.
5 months, less than 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And which part of the United States are you currently? If you share, if you don't mind sharing.
Oh, okay. I am in Missouri.
Missouri. Missouri, it's all the way. I mean, that place is very cool, I guess. It's always
Very,
snoring. Wow.
very.
So those of you who are preparing to come, and if they give you the Missouri, know that you are going to a very cold place, and you have to prepare well. I mean, at least you have one of our guys who is there, Mr. Daniel. He is going to walk you through and show you what to do, where to go, where not to go, and all that. Mr. Daniel, can you give us a brief, I mean, history about how you got to know about this program and how the application process went and all that? If you can just give us a very short insight into that.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. O. Um, I would say that my curiosity actually started with school applications where I wanted to apply for further studies and all that to continue with my education abroad. So along the line, I think I chanced on Mr. O's video on Facebook. So I watched the videos. I was like, oh, really? Is this possible? And I eventually followed up to Telegram, his Telegram platform, just to be able to get a lot of insight about whatever post he makes out there. One thing that I was questioning myself along the journey was that I wanted to have further studies abroad. But if I look at my current position, like I am teaching and I wasn't all good, but I was getting something decent. So going to school would it not be like I'm going to lose all that earning at once or something? So I kept thinking. I wanted to strike a fine balance. And when I came across this video, I was like, okay, the only differentiating factor I saw was that even if I want to go to school, I will need to make some investments. I will need to put in some resources. I need to get some documents ready. And most of these documents are no different from what I need to put into this teacher application. So one thing I came to the conclusion was that this credential evaluation gospel he's been preaching, I was like, even if I should go ahead and do this credential evaluation and this teacher thing doesn't work, I can still use it for school. So I took the decision. I said, okay, let me do it anyway. Once I do the credential evaluation, let me push it through. So I did the evaluation and then I started the process, push it through. Although our systems back home made it a bit cumbersome, but with a lot of follow-ups, we got the evaluated document released, and then I put the application through. So in summary, I think that has been my application process. Yeah.
Wow. And how many agencies did you apply to? Was it just one or more than one?
Okay. I think that I did two. I remember I did EPI and then I did AIG as well. EPI just gave me a thank you for registering on their site, but AIG kept giving me the updates and I could see the job postings available. So I kind of had a hope with AIG that it will work.
So you didn't do a lot of applications. You just focus on just two of them.
I was
And
doing
when
I
Mhm.
was doing that concurrently because, like I said, I was also trying to do school applications. That is, to do a master's or a PhD. So my
Yeah.
attention was kind of, let me do this at the same time. So I want to kill two birds with one stone. But eventually, when I saw that um, the teacher pathway seemed to be like something that would really work, and it's like we'll put money in your pocket quickly, I kind of honed my energy in that direction. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I've always maintained that if you have the opportunity to come here and make money, and you have opportunity to also go and pay money, I would choose the opportunity to make money because you are coming to school, you are definitely going to pay school fees. I
Yeah.
mean, if you are not lucky to get funding, you will be paying a lot of tuition.
Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity to, I mean, come and work, I mean, some people come to me and they are like, Mr. Oh, I have an admission and I also have this job offer. Which one do I take? I said, well, you decide. If your financial status is so good and is so marvelous, well, you can go and do your school, or depending on your plans and your purposes in life, you can decide to go and do your, I mean, education.
Mm.
But personally, I mean, if you have gotten your master's degree, you've gotten your degree at least, then yours is to just go come and work, because with the work you also have opportunity to go to school if you want to,
Yeah.
because there
Yeah.
are so many avenues here in the United States. So getting into the system must be the focus. That is what I tell people. But hey, people decide otherwise, so that is fine. So that is good. And was the interview process difficult? Was it like,
Okay.
because a
Thank you.
lot of people are complaining now about the interview questions and all that. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Right. I think that it wasn't difficult. It all boils down to the fact that if you are back home as a teacher and you are doing what you are doing diligently, it shouldn't be
Mhm.
difficult. Why am I saying this? It takes you through a number of processes. After registering, uploading your documents, and all that, it goes through a reviewed process, and then they move you to the next stage. Now, when you get to the stage, one thing I realize is they ask you to upload a video of yourself teaching. When you upload that video, it gives a lot of impression about who you are, the kind of teacher you are. After you upload those videos and you have the opportunity to do your first phase of interview, that is what with my agency they call the Spark High interviews. Um, you get to speak to like your computer, kind of the questions pop up and then you respond to them, and then you have the opportunity to um, reconstruct your responses if you feel that they are not the best before you submit them, and you are given some timeline to be able to finish it and submit. And back home, when I was doing that, I usually chose the midnight hours, between the hours of 12 to about 2 a.m. because I feel everywhere was very quiet. I could think clearly. I could put some thoughts down before I put in answers to those questions. So these questions are kind of questions that would want to see your understanding of the educational game, okay? How you can solve problems as a teacher should some of these problems arise. So it's not like a pen and paper, what is. No, it goes beyond that. But the objective of these questions, I have realized, is to be able to determine your response, how proactive you are in situations that may face or you may face or would come up in your teaching engagement. And I would advise that use your experiences as relevant milestones if you are responding to some of these questions. Cut your experiences and narrow them, let it fit to these responses. I remember in one of my interview where I had the district interview. One of the questions I was asked about how I was able to um, how I was able to turn a really bitter situation around. I had to tell them an experience I had with a parent and how this parent abused me verbally and all that. But I was able to exercise my emotions intelligently. And in the long run, this parent became an angel who helped in a hospital situation. And when I shaped this response to answer their question, I think I saw them nodding in the meeting, and it gave a very different impression about the whole game. So I would say that in your responses, don't leave your experiences out. Chisel them and refine them and fit them in to any question that you will be asked. Let it be that you have an experience that you are building on, or that has given you an experience and you know what to anticipate. That is what I'll say.
Wow. So, because this is one thing that I've always told, participants and people on the platform and on my Facebook page, that you always answer the questions with experiences or with examples. So
Yeah.
if they ask you a question about classroom management, how did you deal with this situation? Oh, you deal with this situation by doing this. For example, when a parent did this, this is what I did. So I think that is exactly what you did. You took the things we always talk about to heart. And as I always say again, you made a very important point. When everyone is gone to bed, you are awake in the night and you did your videos. Very quiet backgrounds, very serene atmosphere. And that is one thing a lot of districts are looking at in this particular application season. I've had a lot of complaints from Dr. Topas about the noisy backgrounds and all that. And even faces, we've had situations where people their videos were rejected.
Wow.
So, yes, their videos were rejected because it was noisy. It was noisy and it wasn't energetic enough. They were not answering the questions well enough and all that. So, I think it's a very good point you're making. And guys, if you are watching, please take note of these points. Make sure you have your pen and paper. Make notes of some of these little things that he did right. All right. And if you are now watching us, we are speaking with one of our brothers who is here. He's teaching in Missouri. He's a teacher who came from Ghana, less than 6 months ago. And he wants to share his experience with us. So Daniel, what about the job offer? Did it come before you apply for a visa, or how did it go? Because we've been talking about it, but a lot of people seem to still not to get it.
Okay, thank you very much. After my interview, I think I was told that they were interviewing a number of prospective candidates. So should it happen that I'm successful, they will get back to me. I said, okay. The following day, I got an email that I was successful and that if I want to go ahead with them, I should review the offer letter and then sign and then send a copy to them. So in fact, I was actually confused. I was like, "Oh, it's happening so fast. Is how is this thing? Is it real? Is it?" I was asking myself a lot of questions. So I consulted with my director, and that is one good thing. I had very good relationship with him. So the first point of call, I went to him, showed the whole thing to him that this is what has come up. I don't know what to do because the timeline was quite relatively short. And he looked at it and he was like, this is a good opportunity for you. I don't think I should discourage you. This is a good opportunity because the amount, the annual financial remuneration was on the offer letter. So it was like, let's do the computation. If you pay this for rent, you pay this for insurance, at least. Yeah, he actually walked me through, like, because he's schooled outside in his years, he has experience. So it was like,
Was he a
yes,
Ghanaian?
yes, he's a Ghanaian. Yeah, I think he's a different director. I don't know where he's coming from, but he's so different. So he walked me through. He was like, if you spend this on transportation, you spend this on that, it's like you still have something. He would not discourage me. If this is for me, it would work out, even though the timeline is short. Let me explain to them. Let me sign it, give it off, and let me also pray about it. So I did that as he recommended. And then I send the feedback to them, and I think in barely about 4 to 5 um, 4 to 5 days, the pressure started mounting on me. They sent one document after the other to start your preparation. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I like the fact that your director was very instrumental and really encouraged you, because in
Extremely
our part of
instrumental.
the world, a lot of headmasters or the school directors will never, in fact, that even that very day they will sack you from the school.
Yeah. Mr. O, I think, like I said, he's quite different. He
Yeah.
he he has the growth and the development of his teachers at heart. And in fact, if you see him praying for his teachers, the passion is different. I have had personal work with him, and he spoke in certain positive words into my life. I remember we were driving past the American embassy. That was actually my first time. And then he
Mhm.
even showed me this is the American embassy. So be preparing. You'll be there not long. Because I told him I wanted to do further studies. He said, be preparing, you'll be there not so long.
Mhm.
And when I showed this to him, he prayed with me. The passion with which he prayed, I was like, ooh, this is so simply amazing. So I think one advice is let's try as much as possible to forge very good relationship with our school leaders. I know they are humans; they may have their own weaknesses and all that, but let's try and get that excellent relationship with them.
I mean, that is a good advice. And I believe if you are listening or you are watching us, you want to take that advice. Make sure you build. I've talked about building relationships. I have almost 2 videos or more than 2 videos on that already. Maintaining relationships and building good relationships. It takes a lot. It doesn't take anything from you to do that. Mr.
Yeah.
Daniel, that is, somebody was asking us. I want to take this before we continue. What is the financial responsibility of the prospective applicant?
Okay.
Can you just give us a brief summary of how much you think it costs, the whole process cost to you before you arrive in the
Hmm.
United States? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, Let me break it down. Then after
Okay.
that, we can do like a summary. Okay.
Oh,
So I think you do the credential evaluation, which
mhm.
you are going to pay for.
Yeah.
And then when you pay for that, I'm trying to remember my cost. When you pay for that, which
Mm-hmm.
is yeah, a little in the $100 area, a little bit above $100. Then
Currently, it's
I
about
also
190.
okay, good.
Yeah.
So I also remember that you also have to pay for along the line. You pay for service fee. You
Okay.
have to pay for service fee, and that one somebody up here should be able to pay for you. But it's also
Okay.
a financial responsibility. Then I
Okay.
think that the agency will also demand to see a financial statement of yours, which
Mm-hmm.
they have a minimum that should be like your balance. So they
Okay.
recommend that you have not less than 2,000. That is with the agency, and your visa sponsor also wants to see something good. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so um, you should have those things reflecting on your bank statement.
Wow.
Yes, and
Was
when
that
you
was
are
that the
coming,
only financial commitment?
beyond that, your how do we call it? Your accommodation here,
Mm-hmm.
nobody is going to do that for you. You
Okay.
are going to pay your own accommodation, your means of transport, everything, your feeding, so plane tickets, everything. So I
Did you pay your own plane ticket?
yes, you pay for your own plane ticket.
Okay.
The best the agency did was to give you a platform where I think they have some partnership with the organization. You can get flights at discounted prices, but it's not so significant. But you
Mm-hmm.
have to pay it yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think in all, it shouldn't be anything less than uh, 20,000 cities. I don't think so.
20,000 Ghana cedis. You mean Ghana cedis?
I think it shouldn't be less than. Yeah.
Even less than 20,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
That is in all.
Yeah.
Wow. And this was some money that actually went out of you. If we
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about it in that terms, these are
Yeah.
money that you pay because you pay your own visa fee,
Mm-hmm.
you pay your plane ticket. Did they refund the plane ticket to you when you came, or did they give you any kind of reimbursement?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Nobody is going to reimburse you for that. All that they need is you are here. Once you are here, then your journey starts with them. Because my agency was trying to even get me to arrive in an airport, which is a local airport, and the flight was just too expensive. So I couldn't do that. I had to afford the the international airport, which is about 2 hours drive away. So fortunately, I connected with one teacher who was able to pick me up, although I had a delayed flight. He waited and picked me up and then drove me to my place of accommodation. Yeah.
And so let's assume like what I just put on the screen.
Mhm.
You paid your service fee, you paid your evaluation, you pay your. I mean, you created a bank statement with the minimum balance in it,
Yeah.
and you pay for your own police report, you pay
Police
for your
report,
own visa fee,
visa fee.
and you bought your plane ticket.
Yeah.
Good. And so people, please remember that this is his financial commitment. This was what he put in. Yours may be different. Maybe you don't have a passport already. You have to go and do passport. That will increase your cost. You don't
Yeah.
have birth cert. You have to go and do birth cert. You don't have the police report. You don't have your transcript. So
Yeah.
everyone's situation is different.
Yeah. Yellow
And
fever
I don't
card,
even
COVID
yellow
card,
fever.
all these things.
Good. You did all those things.
Yeah.
COVID card, yellow fever card,
Mm.
depending on your situation. So don't take it that this is all you will pay. It is dependent on each and everyone's peculiar situation.
Yeah.
That's good. And you said accommodation, you have to pay yourself when you came
Yes.
here.
Yeah. Actually, I would say I have really enjoyed God's grace and favor because I've had people who have gone ahead of me and they've gone through the rough times. And it's like I came to settle into the good or the cream zone because other teachers who took the lead, my colleague teacher whom I share apartment with, he took the lead, but he even had to sleep at the airport for some days because of accommodation issues, and he had to go to a hotel. The cost was extremely high. So eventually we connected, we agreed to to get accommodation together and then to strike the payment. And it's so interesting that we were easily given the accommodation without a credit history, kind of. So yeah, so we had that good chance to start from, and I think so far it's been good. It's been good. So I think the community Mr. O is building to be able to connect is extremely crucial. Other than that, this is not your home. You don't easily get your bearings. And here you don't walk about trying to, you can't walk because it's cumbersome. You'll be the only one everybody will be looking at from the view of their cars. So you need to connect with somebody to show you your way around. Yeah.
So as you said, you had a very simple settling process. So you didn't have to go through the rough patches.
Yeah.
But when let's now you've settled, you've arrived. Let's get into the school. When you got to the school the first day, how was it like?
Another episode altogether. So, like I mentioned, I had like a
Mm-hmm.
delayed flight. So
Okay.
I got here very late, I think around 11 p.m. And after settling in, Monday morning, somebody came from the district to pick me up to do fingerprinting, background checks, and all that to get a phone and all those things. And I spent more than half of the day, around 1 or 2. So from there, they said, okay, I should go home and rest and prepare for the next day. From the next day, I was in school. I was like, wow, already? I thought I'll be given some days to rest and get myself together. But the next day I was in school and they already had a schedule. Apparently, they had my name tag on my class, the entrance of my class. They've been waiting for me. So when I came, they had a schedule. They handed over the sheet to me, welcomed me. Apparently, because they've been waiting for a while, school had started before I came. I was like a celebrity. Everybody was anticipating to see me. I was like, hey, 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 hey. So I was excited. I was like, hey, really? I don't know what is ahead. The way these people are so excited to receive me. But after that, they handed the sheet to you. They asked me to observe other teachers. So for that week, I was hopping from one class to the other, observing other teachers to see how they did their stuff. Right from the second week, I had to wear the boots myself. And in fact, it's completely a different ball game altogether.
You had opportunity to even observe. I didn't have the opportunity. Most of us didn't have opportunity to observe anyone. They just
Wow.
walk out to our classroom. Yeah, they
Oh,
just
okay.
walk out to our classroom.
I had the opportunity to
So
observe. And even
that's
with that, it was a different thing altogether.
uh,
So from the following week, I had to take over from the one who was subbing in my class as the full-time teacher now. And it was like you were thrown between the devil and the deep blue sea. Find your way out. Find your way out. I was like, wow, where am I going to start from? We go for departmental meetings, and the way my departmental chair would run the whole thing is like, she knows you're already a pro, so she shouldn't waste time. I'm like, do you know, in my mind, I'm like, do you know I am new here? Your curriculum isn't the same as my curriculum. I wish I would just tell her, bro, slow down. Let's go at my pace. But so I had to quickly advise myself that hey, they may not slow down and come to your pace. You need to catch up. You need to catch up. You need to catch up. So I devised a strategy that come on, put all your accolades and whatever aside. Come and get yourself into the muddy waters and learn. So I have to be chasing some colleagues. How do I do this? How do I do this? Like you were saying, the printer, everything is set with your employee ID. Somebody will have to teach you. I have to be chasing them here and there to find my way around. So yeah, yeah.
but they were willing to help. Was
Yes.
that it? Were they willing to help? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They were willing to help. And another thing I'll pass across in this is let's let's start getting our technological experiences polished because these guys use technology like something. And sometimes they will find it strange why you are struggling with this piece of technology because it sounds strange. Look at the point. In high school, they used it. In college, they used it. So as a teacher, they like how to set up your own calendar on Google Drive, using Google Slides, using all these things. It's like they've used it over and over, scheduling appointment. But back home, you may be using PowerPoint. You think that is all. Once you move into the system, they see you as already qualified. So they know that you have to get yourself going with some of these things. So if they are teaching you, I am fortunate. I have another teacher who is like a first year teacher who is kind of new, who is an indigene of this town. So I quickly had to partner and say we are in the same boat so that I could learn some of the things easily and quickly. And she's younger, so I could easily connect. The older folks, some will feel like you should be a big boy and you should know this, but you should throw away all your ego and your whatever and get down and learn. Yeah.
So will you say that was one of your biggest challenges, or you have other things that you had to battle with?
Oh, Mr. O. The challenges they are there. There are a lot of them. Like when I listened to your video and you said at the end of a day, sometimes you sit down and ask yourself, is this really you cried sometimes. I'm like, oh, then I have somebody who I can identify with, because I was thinking it would be smooth sailing, it would be rosy. Like I said, they were expecting, the anticipation was high. So when I came, I was like, oh, this guys. But after I took over, it's like they changed all of a sudden. They were showing me colors that I just couldn't believe myself. You are talking, they are talking, they don't care. I'm like, wow. So one big thing I would want to say is class management.
Mm.
Class management, it's even 80% of the job than the content. Why am I saying this? Because if you are not able to get your learners to settle down and listen to you, you can't do anything. And here, getting your class in order is a big deal, because they don't care to stand on their chairs, be hitting the table whilst you are talking. And if you find yourself among teenagers in middle school, you should know you are in for a real deal. And they are overly expressive, not like Ghana. They tell you their mind as they feel it.
Mm.
So you don't you they don't mince words. They will not sympathize with you as in you are not in a good moment. No, 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 no. They will tell you as it is. So class management, I think back from home is something. If you are a new teacher, you want to come here, start watching videos, start learning. Even till now, I still do. After school, I spend some few minutes to hours to watch videos on class management, how to handle my class. Because if you don't get them, I want to learn
Mm.
different strategies to get them to make my life simple, because it's my target that after this my first year, from second year going, all these struggles would be at their barest minimum. Yeah.
Yeah. I like what you said. I mean, guys, if you are watching, if you just join us, this is Mr. O, and I'm having a conversation with one of the teachers who came last year. And in fact, he's barely 6 months old in the United States, and he's sharing his experience, how he got here, and how he has been managing the situation and the differences in the classroom when he arrived. So, apart from the technology, classroom management, can you share? Do you have any other challenge
Okay.
that
Yes.
you think those coming must be aware of?
Okay, good. Thank you again. I would want to highlight your relationship with students. It's
Mm.
a very critical area. I never saw the reason in standing outside to welcome your students to your class
Mm.
until I got here. But watching videos and reflecting on the whole thing, I think it is a good opportunity to make a good first impression
Mm.
before they enter your class. When you're able to establish that good impression, then you know that they will listen to you. At least they have that sense of worth and feeling that you are ready for them. Other than that, you will be in trouble. I've had situations where when my during my early days, my first weeks and first few weeks, sometimes I wasn't ready. I was trying to get myself together before my students would enter my class. So I couldn't welcome them from the beginning. One day I was having a lesson. I showed a picture and I asked them, what do they think about it? A student told me, I think that is you, because you don't get ready before we get to class. I was like, ooh, but I didn't get angry. I took it as feedback. And I realized that, hey, I need to get myself ready, because they actually understand. And you are kind of a person of color. They've been working with their white teachers all these while. So they want to see and experience something different. if I let down that anticipation, I will be in trouble. So I would want to say that making a very good student-teacher relationship, it's very, very important. Sometimes how you handle their comments, it may be sarcastic, but you can turn it around. It's very, very, very crucial. Some may hurt your feelings, but you don't express it on the spur of the moment. There's a student who I assigned new sitting chart. I gave new sitting positions, and bluntly she refused to sit. I did everything I could. She said she was not going to sit. I was like, okay, because I've given chances for her to sit on her own in the past, and it's like she's enjoyed that freedom. So when I assigned a new one, she said no. But I didn't take it painfully. I just invited her privately. I shot a mail, and then I made a pass for her to come to my class. When she came, I sat with her. We started talking, and then I chipped it in that I found it strange. Why all of a sudden she's trying to seclude herself, be on her own, and not try to work with anybody? Is she having any peculiar issue? There she opened up that back in elementary school, this particular student I want her to sit with was making advances towards her. And she's put a barrier, a very strong barrier that she doesn't want to go over. So she's not going to sit by that boy, neither today or tomorrow. There I understood. So I realized it wasn't disrespect. There was something behind it.
Yeah, because if you get closer to them, you get to know some of these stories and why they do some of the things they do.
Yeah.
Because that was that one experience that I had. Some of them walk to your class, you don't know what they are battling with, you don't know what they are dealing with before they
Yeah.
came. But you are the one available, so they'll have to unleash it on you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
which level do you teach again? Which level of students are you teaching?
I'm in a middle school. I teach
A middle school,
eighth graders. Eighth grade.
eighth graders. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And you are teaching them English.
Yes, English.
Good. Good. So those of you who have been asking me, those English teachers who have been asking me, there you have it. You have an example of somebody who is here teaching middle school English. So at least you guys you can settle your battles in your mind. I mean, so that you know that it is possible. Do you write lesson notes? Because a lot of people have also asked that question.
Okay. Let me respond to this before I continue.
Okay.
Where I am, I don't write lesson notes, but you are expected to write, because when you meet your departmental chair, he will ask you, what is your plan for your class? Then you can't sit down fumbling and looking stupid. So she presumes you may have prepared, and there's a document that is like it's a document it's a shared drive document where you capture whatever you have planned to do by the day. So initially I didn't know. I could see some teachers, it's like they have a schedule for the whole week already. I'm like, we are just starting, and I was waiting for us to have departmental meeting before I know what to do. But I realized that it wasn't so. They expect you to have your game plan. When you meet as a department or as a team, then you make modifications where necessary. So you need to have your plan. You may not write detailed lesson notes like you submit to your department, but you need a plan that your departmental head should check and see that you have something up your sleeve you want to work on with your class.
Those who have been asking that question, now you have it. You will write the lesson notes. You are required to share those lesson notes with your department head as well.
Yeah.
And if you are not using paper, you are supposed to share it on the Google Drive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it brings you the technological skills as well that people need to abreast themselves with and get ready before they get here.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, I want to touch on the next one before your next question.
Good problem.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the next challenge you are likely to face as a new teacher is that some students will see you as a potential threat just because you're a person of color. It's one thing you should settle in your head, because I know and I have students who don't like blacks. Yes, they feel uncomfortable with blacks. But what do? You can't put that child out of your class for that reason, or tell your principal you can't work with this student. So you have to devise a very good strategy to make that student your friends. Beyond that, or let me tie it into seeing you as a threat. Some of these students, or most of them, know their rights back to back. It's not like Ghana where the average student doesn't know what he or she is doing. These children know their rights. Trust me. So when they are dealing with you, they know where they can pin you if you should go the wrong tangent. And those who are confident will tell you that if you do this, you are going to face legal issues. So when you are dealing with them, you should also know what your rights are. You should know what your rights are, and you work with tact to be able to stay in your safe zone, because some of them may even set you up because they know their rights.
Have any of them have any of them tried doing that, or have they done that to you before?
Well, personally, I've not had that critical experience. I know they've done it to colleagues, but my experience I had was one student, she, would I say, frame it up or something. I was at the mall trying to get a book. Before I knew it, she came out of nowhere, appeared with her friend, and she just screamed, "Hello." Before I could respond, she was like, she was falling on me. And it's just proactive for you to hold her, because it was like she was falling. And I just didn't know how. I held myself back not to hold her. And when I lifted my head, another student was standing videoing. I was like, boom. If I had held this girl, I would have been caught on tape, and it's going online. And any allegation would come out of that.
And this was after school or in school?
Out of school. Like I said, I was in the mall. I was trying to get a book. And I don't know how they found out. I don't know how, because they've asked for my address. I refused to give them. I don't know how. So, yes. So I was like, woo, I need to be extra cautious, because if once they tape it, what would you say to justify yourself? Because it's on tape. You were holding her. So if she makes the case that you are making advances, how are you going to defend yourself? Yeah. So it's one thing that I also faced. And then another thing, these children would do background checks of you. So my advice to our people, be very circumspect with your social media handles and all that. I was in class, some of my students they even told me my schools where I had worked. They told me where I lived, just that they couldn't pronounce their names as they should, but I don't know how. Google Earth, they were using all manner of digging to find everything about me. They gathered my pictures. I'm like, what is this? Yeah, they gathered my pictures. They gathered my pictures.
What were they going to use those pictures for?
Now it's two. When I tried finding out, I realized that some of them were on TikTok and other social media platforms where they monetize stuff. So they used that avenue to put the pictures together, maybe add their voiceover or something, and then they push it out there. It's like they are bringing updates about a new teacher in their school and all that. So that was one agenda. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And on the other hand, some had it for mischief. Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe that is one thing we've all cautioned people about your social media handle. Even before you go to the embassy, we tell people make sure it is clean, it is good, because they will look at it. And
Yeah,
as you come here to these students, they will definitely, once they pop your name in, they will definitely see things that you don't want them to see.
yeah.
And one thing I've always done is to try to make mine as private as possible, and I don't
Mhm.
give them that space. But hey, they are kids; they have access to the technology. They can dig you
Mr.
up
O,
any way that you want.
they know apps that you don't know that
Exactly.
can extract information.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when they try this and it fails, they will look for the next one. Yeah.
Wow. Someone is asking, were you given curriculum to follow?
Oh, that's in Cancer Jaffet. I
Yeah.
mean, sure. Question way. Hmm. They gave me something like a pamphlet, and traditionally I was expecting something very detailed to be able to follow. They just gave me, it was just like even like a rubric, the core standards and all that. Even that one I had to chase for it. They told me it's electronic, it's available. I should find it. But the hard copy I got it from that first year teacher, and it's not detailed. So I just look at it and I'm like, so where should I start from? Where are you going to? So one thing that would help you is that you can get resources online. So you just pick that critical concept or whatever it is, and then break it down, make it your own. They want you to own the lesson, own the class, own everything. So it's not like you have a suggested approach to go about it, or you have a very detailed. No, 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 no. You'll be given something like that. But mine was like a rubric. It wasn't so detailed. You have to do the chunk of the work to prepare for your learners.
I mean, what we normally call that is the standard. So they only give you the standard to how you want to you must teach, and you must develop the lessons out of those standards.
Yeah.
And in my district, for instance, they give you like, as you said, the skeleton. But even in Ghana, it's just a breakdown. They just give us the topics and the extent to which we should teach those topics. That
Okay.
is the best they can give you. But this place, they have that skeleton, they have a deeper one, and you have to keep digging and digging and digging until you get what you really want. So I understand what they're talking about. It's a big challenge. So those of us who are coming and we are not so versed in technology, it will be a challenge because they will throw you into the whales and you have to find your way back to shore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. Daniel, I mean, we our time is fast spent. Do you is there anything particular in your first 6 months that you want, apart from the ones you've shared, that you want the new teachers to be aware of when they are coming?
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, I would want to advise my colleague teachers to prepare. Now, if I'm talking about preparation, I'm not only talking about physical preparation, as in getting your documents and your stuff. The amount of mental preparation you have to do is even more than the physical preparation. Why am I saying this? You have to prepare mentally first that you are transiting, because if you have realized that when I came here, physically I was present here, but my mind was still back home. I was seeing things through the lens of Ghana, the lens of African perspectives and how things should be done, not how things are done, how I thought things should be done. So I had to give myself that shift in the mind that, hey, these children are not your African children. This landscape is not your landscape. Things are going to be different. Of course, I watched some of your videos where you talked about how to prepare, how to dress, and all that. But this is me meeting reality. I realized that I still had gaps in my mind. So the mental preparation that you have to do is very, very, very critical. And then number two, I would also say, still under preparation, be ready to adapt to change. Have a growth mindset. have a growth mindset, because if you don't have a growth mindset, you would be babying around, and your students would not respect you. They will look down on you. Your principal will have issues with you. Your techniques, your approach will be outmoded, and the feedback you're going to have, you will not like it. So be ready that you are going to adapt to change. And then thirdly, I want them to engage strategically, engage very strategically. The connection with people who are already here. And when you get here, engage with the people who really understand what they are doing. I have an instructional coach who I barely see. He only comes to observe and gives feedback, write a report about you. So I have to make that deliberate effort to schedule an appointment with him. I want to come to your class. I want to come and observe your class. I want it because I've heard he's always ahead of the standard. He's that good. So I have to strategically find my way. Since he is not coming to me, I should go to him and find my way and learn something. So I'm trying to engage. I engage with the SPED, those in the SPED, those teaching the triple E, those teaching children. I engage all of them so that bits and pieces, I'm able to hone all these ideas together and know how to handle my learners. And then lastly, I'll say that the teachers coming should keep a toolbox for emergencies. You should keep a toolbox. Now, in this toolbox, you should have lesson starters. You should have warm-ups. And I would give thumbs up to Sister Amma. I think I watched one of her videos. She spoke about ludic pedagogy, how to integrate game. And that is one big thing. I just got to know that my instructional mentor has a club where he gets children to learn through gaming after school. So it's my target now. I want to join that club so that you can make your lessons interactive. You can make them fun. In your toolbox, you should have your emergency, your first aid as a teacher, because when you get here, nobody would would clean your wounds for you. You clean them yourself. So get your toolbox, having it, your, like I said, your lesson starters, your warm-ups, your bell ringers, how do we call it? Your activities that maybe you want the whole class activities and maybe paired activities. You should have some of these things in it, and then your exit strategies, very, very critical. So these are the things I want to leave with my my colleagues.
But were you not doing all these things when you were in Ghana?
I was doing them, but Mr. O, the way my learners, you see, the way they engage. Okay, let me cite an example. In Ghana, you get to the class, they welcome you, you start and all that. Even on the spur of the moment, you can come up with new ones and all that. But these are new people. You don't know what they like, what they don't like. So I deliberately ran an interest inventory to find out some of these things to help me get some of these things on hand. So this student doesn't like this. This student like this. This student doesn't like this. So I find a fair balance because I don't want to become offensive in my approach. I get in it. So you should have it on hand, like ready. When you get to the class, it's not that you are scratching your head. It should be something ready and prepared that you can use in the midst of emergencies. That is what I mean.
That is an insight, because that is something I'm also going to learn from you. I've been trying to create an interest inventory. That is a good one that I'll take to my class. Trust me, we are all learning every day. We are all learning every day. And thank you so much for those solid points. Bulleted them in the comment section. So if you are lost in any of the discussion, please go to the comment section, add your comments, and also learn from what our brother is telling you. This is what he has experienced in his first 5 months. of teaching in the United States. Trust me, it seems like it's a long time, but this is just 5 months. He has another 6 months or 5 months to go before the year ends.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a long shot, but
Yeah.
he's sharing it so that if you are coming, if you are a new teacher coming, you should get prepared. You
Yeah.
should get prepared because it is not, the job is not for kids, not for children. It
Yeah.
is for people who are ready to learn. And as it said in one of the comments or the advice, create a toolbox. And in this toolbox, you have everything,
Mm.
and be prepared to learn. Learning every day. You will have to go to them. They will not come to you to offer the the things that you need to learn. You will have to chase after them and say, hey, I want this. I need to know this. I need to do that. Okay.
Mm.
Thank you so much for that advice. And people, those of you who came late, we've been talking to one of our brothers who is an English teacher in the United States, in the state of Missouri. He came just last year, September, and he's sharing his experience. If you just join us, I will advise you to go back and watch the whole video.
Mm.
Very Take your time and listen to everything he said and everything we've discussed. You will definitely get something from there in your preparation to come. If we don't have any questions, I think I will appreciate our brother, thank him for his time. In fact, I know it's been difficult and we decided not to show his face for a reason. So you can appreciate me for that, and let's
Yeah.
all keep it that way.
Yeah.
And I want to thank my brother for having time with us this morning. I know it's not easy. You guys are very tight. Your schedules are so tight, but you took time because this will go a long way to help a lot of new teachers that are coming,
Yeah.
and it will augment the work we are also doing. Very soon, when his time is right, he will also start his own page where he will also bring his experiences from that part of the world. Trust me, the experiences I will share from North Carolina and Florida will definitely be different from wherever. It may seem similar, but it will be different. So stay on this page, learn when his page is up. We'll definitely promote it, and you guys will know how you can get in contact with him. And if any of you have been placed in Missouri, if any of you happen to be placed in Missouri this year, know that you have somebody that can hold your hand and guide you as to what to do and what not to do. All right.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see if we have any questions in the comment section. Stone says, please, is there any way we could be connecting with him regularly, even if he's on a platform? Yes, Stone, you can all connect regularly with him because he's also a teacher and he's new, so he's still taking his baby steps. He's learning, he's still learning. So as and when he thinks there's something worth sharing, he will come and share it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And Japheth is asking, when do you set out your rules for your class?
Okay, that's a very good question. And
Yeah.
Jafet, thanks for that question because I can see you are very much in tune.
Oh yes.
Thing I didn't get smooth was that they had started a semester before I came. So they were already in a certain mood before I came in. And when I came in, I didn't really get to grind that aspect of classroom expectations. We don't really call them rules, but we call them classroom expectations. So what happened is that in my next semester, I hammered it. In fact, I put it on my slide. Every lesson, that is like the second thing after warm up, welcoming them, I show it to them. These are the expectations. In this class, this is what I expect. I know the first time you say it, it will not go. So, and like they say, repetition, it's the key to the conviction also. So I made it an effort, and with the feedback I got from our principal, I realized that he always makes the statement when we meet: whatever you tolerate, you accept. So it means that once a child is misbehaving or doing something contrary and you let it pass, that means you accepted it and expect it to repeat again. So I use my classroom expectations, and I've got it printed in one corner, pasted, letting them know that this is what's expected in this class. This is what is expected in this class. And you can't use cane. You can't. They will ask you, why are you yelling, bro? Why are you yelling? Yeah, you can't, you can't even overly yell. So you have to be tactical. And even when you are sending the child out to the office, you find a nice way. You don't do it as if you are angry. Go out of my class. No. So I think your emotions are really on the high at this point. I want you to excuse yourself and calm yourself down. And already you can come back. Then that's fine. So it's it's a new approach to things. That's what I'll say.
It's more of a negotiation than a command coming from you for them to
Exactly.
go out.
And
Great.
like you said, I want to hit or have this again. My colleagues should learn, like you said, negotiation, or how to appeal to people's emotions. If you know how to appeal, you can easily get them to do a lot of things for you. But if you want to instruct, you'll be in trouble. You appeal to their conscience so that they will decide that they will do it. By so doing, they feel you are not kind of exerting or going against their rights and privileges.
Wow. Wow. So you appeal instead of commanding or trying to instruct them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a negotiation skill. So Latif is asking a question, but I think we answered it already. So Latif, you have to go back to the video and watch it again. I mean, he has shared that experience with the students at the mall with us already. And thanks so much for sharing with us, and God bless you. So, my boss, Mr. Daniel, we want to thank you so much for your time and take
Mr. I should
the
be
leave
thanking
from
you.
you.
I should be thanking you because, like I said, your video, I didn't know about this teaching abroad from anywhere. I didn't know. Nobody told me about it. When I even mentioned it to my director, I was like, so how did you get to know about this? I said, I chanced on one man's page and I followed the content. It was like, so there's something like that exists. I said, yes. He said, hey, then if that happens, very soon, all our teachers would leave. I said, oh, that one, it's a development opportunity. Okay. But I got to know about this whole game through your page. That one, I would say it's everywhere and
Thank
anywhere
you.
I stand. I didn't know about it from Adams. I watched your page and then I realized that, oh, there's something like this. And then I just gave it a shot. I didn't know that really, this could be the opportunity that would catapult me. So I would want to say to my colleagues back home that the yeoman's job Mr. O is doing, it shouldn't go in vain. He's not charging a dime. When I got here, I met a colleague from Cameroon. He said his teacher introduced him to this program, teacher who taught him in college, and he charged him $4,000 before he gave him the links to even register. He didn't do it for him, sharing the website with him. So what Mr. O is doing is something that we should all encourage. We should all support. We should doff our hats out and say that we are behind him. And let's take the opportunity. He is doing it today. You may not know the number of people he's going to affect. I didn't know I'll be on this platform today, but I have pointed this platform out to a lot of people that, hey, go watch his videos. I can't give you all the details if I want to sit you down. He has done the work already. Go watch his videos. And Mr. O, I would want to say, God richly bless you. And the rewards may not be immediate. The rewards may not be coming in now. You have decided to forego all the $3,000, $4,000 that others are charging, and you are doing it for free. But your reward would definitely far outweigh that which they are getting now. Thank you for having the sleepless nights, and now you do it with ease. Like I say, you are driving and you are just making video. I'm like, wow, this man is a veteran. God richly bless you. I really, really
Thank you.
appreciate it. God
Thank
bless
you so much. I mean, so it's like you just chanced upon this last year and you hit it once and you are there.
you. Yeah.
I mean, so can be your story. Those of you watching, you could just do one-time application. You don't need to be on this platform for long. I mean, he hit in, and you heard him. People are charging $4,000 just to give the links, not only even all these videos we're doing, just to give you out the link. And as I said the last time, there's another gentleman in South Carolina who I heard also charge $2,000 to give you a link to Faces. Faces link that is all over the place. But if you choose not to follow the right path and you want to go and pay money, well, I wish you all the best. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And we appreciate your time. And definitely we'll connect with you again
All right,
at
sir.
the right time. All
All right,
right.
sir. All right.
Yes, sir. Have a blessed day and we'll talk to you again.
And you too. And to all your
Thank
followers
you.
and the audience. Thank you
All
for
right.
having me.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay.
So, guys, you have it there. We've been speaking to Mr. Daniel from Missouri, an English teacher who came here last year to teach. So, if you've learned anything from this video, if you want to listen to it, you can follow, you can share the page, you can share it to all your friends who are getting ready to come here to come and teach. I wish you all the best. I will see you again when I see you. Bye bye.